I don't think it matters if you have a real quick swing or a slow swing, but for me, it has to be slow to set up. You know, it's a pitcher, you know, he gets up, you know, and he winds, but, you know, he's not putting his foot up real fast. He's getting that hip up, and he's loading. And to me, it's the same thing in golf, you know. If you're hitting a, you know, baseball, you know, you're sitting there, you're loading on your right, unless, of course, you're going to bunt, but you got to load. And I think a lot of amateurs don't load. And, you know, to be able to hit a good golf ball, to me, everything's right here, but you've got to be able to load. To me, it's still on the right side, finish on your left.
The most important thing is how you start down. And every superstar that ever lived does the same thing. That is, at impact, their weight is favoring the left side, their body is opened up, because you can't be like that. It's amazing how many people hit the ball like that. You're dead. Their body's opened up, they've had good rotation, their weight's on their left side, and then when they finish the shot, they're on their right toe, which makes the dough. You finish flat, you end on the mat. That means you haven't transferred your weight. So, many ways to start down. And over the teachings over the years, some players said you pull down with the left hand. That was the old British style. You bring your right elbow back to your side. You kick your right knee in, Tommy Arnold, all different ways. But for me, having studied the swing for 60 years, the strongest part of your body, is strong. This is where you got the power. There's your power base. So you want to rotate that part of your body. Whether you feel it's in the hips, whether you feel your chest has to face the hole, but this is your power base. This is why we're going to find players in 30 years' time all hitting the ball close to 400 yards. The big guys are coming. They haven't come yet. And they're going to have this great movement through the ball. Now, watch this in slow motion. You get the club back in the right position. Now, watch how the body is rotating. The hands go through automatically.
Hey everybody, Fred Couples here. I'm going to give you a little help with what is my favorite club, whether I'm hitting it well or not so well, the driver. A couple keys, at least for me, is ball position. And if you notice, in the old days, I used to stand very open. And as I've gotten older, I've almost squared up. And I still play the ball semi-up forward my stance, which helps me hit it on the upswing. And if you see a lot of the longer hitters on the PGA Tour, nowadays they're almost off their feet. Bubba Watson, Thomas, Dustin Johnson, they're so powerful. For me, I'm not quite there yet, but I'm still trying to hit where my body's coming up to get the ball going and get a lot more extension. So let me just hit one. Take away. I try and go back low. And then I just, once I'm going down through the hitting area, I actually, it may not look like it, but I'm trying to hit it as hard as I physically can. Not on every drive, but most of them. Always try and get the club going back at a pace that's such as your 7-iron, because you don't want to jerk it back real fast. So the first thing I try and do is get the club going away from the ball as slow as I can. And then through the ball, I'm trying to hit it as hard as I can.
When you swing harder, the only thing that happens is everything goes faster except for the club head, and that's what's got to move faster. So I make a very conscious effort to swing slower. Now all the elements of my swing to happen and give a chance for the club head to give as full an arc as possible and as much power as I can get it by taking a long, full swing. So this is what, if I want to hit another 5 or 10 yards, used to be 20 or 30, it's 5 or 10 anymore. See here.
Nicklaus said, I try to take the club away smoother on the takeaway. Smooth's a great word, better than slow, because, you know, you take it away smooth, the next one can be smoother. So we know all the good things to do. So we want smooth turn. We want that separation, so you wait for it while the left side pulls against the right. Now you fire your belly and you release the right knee and you hold that follow through. So we do it once as a kind of a warm-up. So we fire it through like so, and then try and then build, rather than hitting the golf ball harder, not a good word, try and build a momentum up. Look at Ernie else's swing. Ernie will swing a certain way all day, then all of a sudden he produces an extra 20 yards. Well, all he does is watch, is add a little bit more momentum to it. So smooth, and there you go.
Look, this is what I see when I play every week in the Pro-Am, my amateurs, what I see going wrong. One, don't try and stay still. This is the worst thing you can try and do. Somebody who tries to stay still in the golf swing will actually probably go forwards as they go back, and when they try and hit it, they'll be going backwards. Don't try and keep your head down. If your head goes down, it's going to get in the way. Terrible idea. Let your head float in the golf swing. You wouldn't try and keep your head still if you were swinging a baseball bat. You wouldn't keep your head still if you were throwing a punch. Why would you keep your head still playing golf? Okay, next thing is professional golfers actually swing the club back 3 times faster than amateurs. So the rhythm of the backswing really helps the club set. You don't go real slow. This isn't going to help you. So a nice rhythm in the backswing, allow your head float, don't try and stay still, don't keep your head down. And lastly, don't lift in the backswing. People always want to make a bigger backswing. They think that's going to equate to more power. That's okay if you're supple. But if you get to a point in your backswing where you've got a tight coil, don't lift past that. The minute you lift your arms and your body stretches like this, you're going to lose all your power and your accuracy. So you've got to stay within yourself. And what you will see, especially with pros, when they're taking practice swings in a static environment without the ball, they only ever swing about that long. They don't make a big swing in the backswing because we don't want any of this lifting. Okay, so nice and tight in the backswing, good bit of rhythm. And I would recommend to people at home in their garage during the winter. You know, years ago, if you were watching Hogan, they had lovely waggling going on, their feet were dancing, they were moving, and they hit that backswing with speed, and that got the club lovely to hinge up here on plane. They got a lovely wrist cock because of the speed of the backswing. So get that nice rhythm going, allow yourself to move. Essentially, as you turn, your turn shifts your weight, and as you can see, it shifts my head a little bit to this side. I don't need to move my hips over here, I just need to turn my body. And once my body turns, you can see that is actually going to turn into a full golf swing when the golf ball is there. See how it gets to parallel?
When you're doing that, Padraig, I mean, certainly I love the idea of the movement, no question. Are you still mindful of keeping the eyes somewhat on the back of the ball, though?
Absolutely. Like all sports, it's a good idea to look at the golf ball, but it doesn't mean you need to keep your head still. I can still see the golf ball as I move my head. It floats, but it's the same as I said, if you were hitting a tennis ball, you wouldn't try and keep your head still. If you were hitting a hockey puck, you'd still see the ball, but you wouldn't keep your head still. We don't want that fixture there. It will actually hurt your neck, it will hurt your back if you try and keep it still. Some people who suffer from a bad back playing golf, it's because they try and stay still and they tilt forward and get jammed up here in the downswing. We always want to have that big follow through. But, you know, if you're getting a bit older, that's going to put a lot of strain on you. So do as Gary Player does. And Gary Player, without a doubt in this world, pound for pound, if you take into account his age, is the best ball striker that's ever been in the game. Gary Player's favourite drill, when he's on the range, if he hits it and he steps over that left leg, that's to take the pressure off his follow-through. We want that big follow-through. So I'm going to copy Gary Player here. Okay, you'll see a nice bit of movement in the backswing. And I step after it. That takes the pressure off my back.
Sure, let's see that one more time, I love that. And then I have got one question. I know that someone who influenced you greatly with your game was the late, great Bob Torrance. And you told me earlier that he talked about squashing the bug on the downswing. Perhaps not something you think of now, but you certainly did, didn't you?
Oh, no doubt about it. We're looking old school here. And in fairness, there's kind of three things that happen in the golf swing and the downswing. So we've made that nice brisk backswing. We cocked our wrists, we're up there. We want to get into our left side. So as you say, you're squashing. Are we allowed to say that these days? We're squeezing a ball under our left foot. We're not killing any little ball.
Okay.
So we're squeezing a ball. We're pressing down our left heel into our left side. That's your start of the downswing. Sitting in there, pressing down. And this is why I said Nicklaus was so good. He hit that high foot and he jammed it back down into the ground. From there, your body, your hips and your body rotate. But this is one of the modern differences in golf that I think has changed maybe from Hogan's time. So as everything is turning, we don't want rotation in our arms. We actually want our arms going as hard as they can down. So our shoulders and our arms go down while our body's rotating. So the speed comes, and this is why you see the likes of Bubba Watson, the likes of DJ Johnson, why they're so long, is they're up here. And that means their arms come down very quickly. They've got JB Holmes, he gets his arms up and they come flying down. That's not rotation. Yes, the body's rotating, but the arms are down as hard as you can. I think years ago, rotation, too much rotation wouldn't be a good thing. We've got to keep the arm speed up. Okay.
Make sure that this stays 90 degrees for as long as possible. Matter of fact, you can't hold it too long. So start down 90 degrees and it'll help you increase your club head speed. The other thing I concentrate on is to make sure that I get to my left side. I slide just enough weight to make sure that I'm on my left side, and at the same time I'm rotating pretty much as fast as I can and straightening this left leg.
When you're talking about sliding some weight to the left side, you're talking about lower body weight, not upper body weight,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah, the problem sometimes when they try to hit it hard, it's with their upper body, and they get way ahead of it and they hit some shots they're not really happy with. So with this, you're correct. I try to shift my weight, making sure my head stays behind, shift my weight, turn, and straighten this left leg without locking it. And that's where I build up the club head speed.
The one thing that I always did when I wanted to hit it a little harder was slow everything down. And mostly the backswing, because that allowed me to get the club back a little further, and then I could really turn into it and get the best distance.
Once I've got it into the right side, I want to feel like I've got this discus in my hand. You know, you watch on, that's where all the power comes. You want to be able to extend your right shoulder and your right chest and all your back muscles to the target as hard as you possibly can.
Did you feel there was a reach with your right arm through the hit?
No doubt about it, because it has to be as long as it possibly can, because that's where you're going to keep the ball on the face longer and make it go further. That's what I believe anyway.
Let's have a swing at that. I'm going to have a few more questions about that, but very interesting. So not just right hand, right side.
Right side, you know, you can almost basically, you know, you could do it with one arm, you know what I mean? So you just feel like you're swinging that club, and you just use your right side to hit the ball.
In order for me to swing the driver well, I've always played my best when I feel like my hands are as far away from my head as possible, which creates a lot of room, a lot of width on the way down. I start going bad when I get narrow with my hands next to my head, which means then I have to throw it out. I lose a lot of power, hit a lot of balls out to the right. When I get wide, I can stay behind it, hit the draw, ball goes a little further. And I see a lot of amateurs get in here where they can kiss their hands. That's not the position you need to be in. You can be out here a little bit further away from your head. I guarantee you'll hit the ball a little bit further.
I had a 1 or 2 shot lead fighting with Jay Siegel. Lo and behold, what shows up? The hook. And from that moment on, I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to hook the golf ball again with a driver. I'm just not. You just can't do this. You can't play that way. You can't be afraid of when it's going to come out. And through that, I just learned a few things, taught myself a few things that helped me out tremendously along the way.
What did you discover with that one golf swing that ultimately got you to be #1 in the world?
It was a bit of a release pattern. And it wasn't something that I did all the time, because the majority of the time I still kind of cut the ball. But you get in those tense situations, you tighten up, and you get to the top of your golf swing, and all of a sudden you pull, and it just drops right behind you.
And that club face is wide open.
Look at this. Yeah, it's wide open. So here I am at the top. I pull it out, wide open, handle's gone up, okay? And now I'm this far from the golf ball. So what am I going to do, Charlie?
Flip.
You know, and so it's either going to come out and you don't time it, and it's going to go that way. If you time it just right, it'll go straight, and if you don't, and you go fast, it's going to go left.
Okay, so you discovered this, that you were doing that. How'd you fix it?
Well, I think it boils down to, if I'm here at the top of my swing, okay, and I pull out, I tend to lose my spine angle, right? Club face opens up, handle goes up, and now I'm just in trouble. I can get it coming out on top of the plane this way. Now look at that club face. Same position.
Let's see you launch one.
Here to here.
Yeah,
you know?
Big difference.
And so, and it's something that was truly beneficial for a lot of years for me because I had no fear. Our old buddy, my longtime caddy, Mitch Knox, would sometimes say, hey, you want to hit 3-wood here? I'm like, well, why? Is there something in my way? You know, is there something 300 yards away that I'm going to hit it into? And he's like, no. I'm like, okay, give me a driver. Let's hit it, you know? Let's take advantage of what you feel like are your strengths. And so I just tried to set up, tried to pay attention to where the ball was, tried to keep it inside my toe, somewhere in here, the ball of my foot. And from there, just rotate, basically. I'd take it back, try to get it, make sure I got it on top of the plane, and then just keep turning and letting the club get by me.
Sort of like that?
Kind of like that.
This first move you just demonstrated from the top.
Right.
Show me that again, because I've never heard anyone talk about that.
Right. It's an it's going to be an exaggeration, but so I'll try to match it up. Okay, so when I get to the top, I want to make sure that the club gets out going this way. So as I'm at the top of my swing, I want it coming this way. So in essence, I want to feel like, and a lot of these are feels, because as you match it up with your turn, with your rotation, it's nothing, it doesn't look anything like that. But when I'm here, I want this to happen on my right wrist.
Whoa, 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 that's casting.
That is not casting, that's putting the club on top of the plane, okay? And as we all know, if you want to drive it consistently well, hit anything consistently well, you need to play on or on top of the plane. That's just all there is to it. And you're trying to eliminate face rotation, you know, shaft rotation, get rid of this. There's different ways to release. You can release like this, Charlie, you know, and the release is
rotate over.
Yeah, the release is to get the golf club as a right-hander from the right side of your body to the left, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Got to get it past you. Well, that's so you can see it rolling. I just released it. Is that face moving?
No.
Face isn't rotating. I've just fully released the golf club though, okay? So it kind of, as I get here, I want to feel like it goes like that, okay? Looks kind of crazy, but now if you do that and you match it up with your rotation, where am I?
Perfect position.
Perfect position. Without the face rolling and rotating, no timing.
Let's see one more.
Let's see if we can do another one, huh?
And you can go at as hard as you want with this, right?
Well, typically the harder you turn, the more you go, the straighter the ball goes.
I like that.
That's a good thing.
Now, if you want more power, the secret is, I call it RPB, right pocket back. The more you take your right pocket and take it away from the golf ball, is you can stand here with your golf club, lean on here. It's like a piston. You got piston on your right hip, a piston on your left hip. Your right hip's going to go back, your left hip's going to come towards the ball, right this. Your left knee's going to get behind the golf ball just a little bit. Now, RPB, right pocket back, you'll notice my right pocket has really turned more than I've turned before. So that means I've loaded more into my right side. The more I can load into my right side, the more power I have stored up.
When I make a driver swing, the ball is as far forward in my stance as any shot in the bag. And as a result, my head is behind it. As a result, the bottom of the arc is actually before the ball. And then it comes up. It starts up just ever so slightly. Last time I was measured, I had a 1.4 degree uptick in the bottom of the arc like that. So if you play the ball in the middle of your stance, what's going to happen? You're going to hit down on the ball. I think you want to hit slightly up on the ball and make that takes some of the spin off the ball, gets the ball in the air, and when that ball hits the ground, it's running.
I get most of my power from that I have a real long swing because I have long arms. I used to be a real tall golfer, now they're all tall. But I have a long swing, a wide swing, and I get the club way away from my body, but I keep it way away from my body on the downswing as well. So I create a lot of width and I keep that width, and the farther the club goes, the faster it can go. So all I'm doing is winding my body up and getting the club way up high in the air. So when I unwind, it has a lot of time to pick up speed. But you have to use everything together, and I wind my body up and then unwind it to let the club pick up speed to the ball. You don't want to throw the club at the ball. You want to create an angle with your backswing and keep it getting wider and faster. You don't want to get short and throw the club down. You want to pull it. My dad always taught me that the left side was pulling the golf club. That's why I was able to keep it building speed up to the ball rather than throwing it with my right side and having it slowing down. So I try to unwind that backswing from the feet back up to the club.
You got to get nice and comfortable over the ball. The stance is wider than anything in the golf bag. I still have knee flex, which is very important with my game. You know, obviously with all the guys out here, we have to align properly. If you're not aligned properly, you're not going to hit. You're not going to swing the club properly. If you're too closed, the club is going to come inside, and you have to compensate on the downswing. So you want to get those railway tracks, as we call it. You get your target line, which is obviously on that line there, and then you align your body to your target line with nice knee flex. Get your weight nicely balanced in the middle of your feet, and just hang the arms and then pull the trigger. I like to take it away with my arms and make a nice full shoulder turn. But yeah, you see, it's only just a little further than the other one. But anyways, I like to take it away with my arms as far as I can, and then I make that shoulder turn, get it nice and high on the backswing, and then try and get the club back to the exact same spot as you took it away. So that means dropping the club in the slot here, and then releasing right through the golf.
So today we're going to talk about power and getting more distance. So the first thing you want to do is put the ball in the front of your stance, maybe just off the front heel. Second thing you want to do is the extension. You want to extend it as far as you can this way. So when you go back down the line, and once you make impact, the same thing here, extend towards your target. Creates a big arc, the higher club head speed, and on top of that, swing hard.
Giving yourself a good base and getting grounded. You've got to use the ground so that your turn is winding up. This is your power source down here. And if you're keeping it nice and smooth, that's going to allow you to hit it as hard as you want coming into the ball.
Beautiful. Let's see one more.
All right, mate. Good wide stance and a nice smooth takeaway.
In general, for both of you guys, when you're in competition, you're both extremely long, but you have to drive the ball in play. Are you going at it 80%, 100%, 90%? What do you feel you're going at it speed-wise?
When I'm in competition, it's about 85 to 90%. Rarely is it full bore. It's probably like one a tournament, if that.
Yeah. What about you?
About the same. I feel like I'm swinging 80% at max. Unless I get it like a downwind par 5, it's going to be 110. But other than that, it's pretty.
Well, we've seen everybody here. We've seen them get it in the fairway shot. Now let's see you hit one. Right. Now this is what distance is all about. Go ahead, DJ. You go first. Launch one for us here. What you're going to see is maybe a little wider stance because he's going to go at it a little harder, but you've still got to make a good wind up and then let all the power come on the through swing. Has it come down yet?
Not yet.
No.
There it goes. I don't have that.
Oh, you have it. Don't worry about it. That's big. As the boys said, very seldom do they ever swing 100%, and yet if we were on the range this morning before the Pro-Am, I saw everybody swinging as hard as they could in case they hit it. And the whole key is to swing. Each and every one of us here and each and every one of you that are watching out there can only hit the ball so far. The secret to getting the maximum distance out of your swing is solid club ball contact. Get that ball coming out of the middle of the club every time. To do that, you've got to understand your own flexibility, and that's huge, and to be flexible. And you've also got to understand the mechanics of your golf swing. Each person here has got a maximum they can hit it. Just because some manufacturer's got some new driver that's guaranteed to hit it 2.5 yards further, we don't need it. You need the one that you can get your maximum club and ball contact with, get the ball in play, and get your maximum distance.
Everyone talks about the ground and the hips turning and everything turning, but for me, if I can get these shoulders moving, you know, far enough on the way back, and just, you know, from the top of that swing, just really concentrating on moving that left shoulder back and through the ball, you know, that's normally where the big speed comes from.
Uh-huh.
Kind of like that.
That'll work.
I just smile every time I see one of those. Jamie, what about you? Where does your power come from? Is it the same place or different?
Yeah, very similar to Joe. I think a big key for us is a big shoulder turn. And a big key to that is releasing that left heel. I find that...
On the backswing?
Yeah, and we're trying to get this left shoulder working underneath. And we're trying to get it underneath our chin. Everybody does a fake, you know, shoulder turn where, you know, the arms go back, but the shoulders never turn. Well, I mean, we're trying to turn this thing down and underneath, and if you can release that left heel going back, it'll give you a little more range of motion.
Got the ball tee a little higher. Gonna go with a little light grip pressure, just very light. Club just really setting easily in the hands, almost moving. Ball a little further forward in my stance. And I'm gonna try and keep my head behind the shot going through and get some good extension through the ball.
Yeah, that one certainly did go a little bit higher.
Pretty solid too, I'll take that one.
Yeah, so would I, by the way. Lanny, I teach a lot of club players. You've played in a lot of pro-ams. Of course, when they turn into Captain Caveman and decide they're going to try and kill it, a lot of them have very short, fast backswings, don't have much turn. Comments on that, please?
Well, there's no question. The one thing you've got to do when you're going to hit the ball hard, you know, the tendency everyone has is to get quick and hit it hard and then move their body too fast. So the first thing you want to do there is make sure you get your back turned to the target. You know, we add that to what we've already talked about with the ball forward, you know, tee a little higher, loose grip. Now get your back to the target so when you're coming through, your whole body is working together instead of outrunning it with your body and leaving your hands back here, hands and arms. So you want to get everything working together right at the point of impact, and the best way to do that is by getting your back to the target.